So today we are showing off 3 missions from the campaign. We're showing off the epilogue to our campaign called Aftermath. We're showing off multiplayer and in specific the new cooperative mode called Survival. Well, this really is our chance to step aside from the trilogy, which, you know, it had its storyline, which wrapped up really nicely at the end of Gears of War 3. This is our chance to experience Emergence Day. This is when it all started. Well, when it all fell apart, basically. The Locusts have come up from the ground. The COG government thought they were at the height of their power, and they fell quickly. So the player gets to experience the world falling apart. You know, Gears, the original trilogy was kind of about destroyed beauty. Well, this is you seeing the beauty being destroyed. We've also changed up the gameplay in some really interesting ways. The structure for the story is sort of told through this courtroom setting where Kilo Squad, headed by Damon Baird, is on trial for war crimes. And each of the characters gives their testimony of what happened, and you sort of get to play through the different characters' perspective to see how did Emergence Day unfold.
More grubs with grappling hooks!
Section by section, our missions have a great variety in different types of gameplay. Your mission may be simply to advance to the location where there was a COG convoy. It was supposed to be resupplying the Museum of Military Glory, but they haven't been heard from in a while. So in investigating this location, you realize, well, they've been wiped out by the Locust, and something big. The ground troops are still there defending it, but you don't quite know what's going on. So you advance to the next section, and it may be something like what we're calling a mobile defense scenario, where there are some defenses set up by the troops who were there earlier, and then a couple portable turrets that you can move around and sort of place so that when the Locusts do attack, you've got a bit of a fortification and you're ready to defend against them. Our Declassified missions are kind of a way to see a different angle to the story. Since the story is told through a courtroom setting and you're hearing the different members' testimony, well, a typical scenario may be the COG were walking through a part of the Seahorse Hills, one of the rich neighborhoods of Halvo Bay. And the story may be, well, they came to a military checkpoint and everybody was dead, but the Locusts were still there, so they killed the Locust. Pretty straightforward. Well, in this case, it may be that Kilo Squad ran out of ammunition and they had to raid some rich person's house, and he had a bunch of shotguns in there. And so they used these shotguns that they stole from the civilian to take out the Locust. Well, that's technically breaking the rules. So it's not the kind of thing they wanted to tell in the courtroom, but it adds a bit to the story, and it definitely adds a bit to the challenge.
Health Inspector! Fire in the hole!
Now the stars are great because they unlock new character skins or armor skins for multiplayer, new weapon skins, even new characters for multiplayer. Once you've unlocked enough stars, once you receive 40 stars, you unlock the Aftermath section of the campaign.
You can't walk that off!
Aftermath takes place during the events of Gears of War 3. In that way, it kind of bookends the series nicely. We've got the main campaign, which is the start, Aftermath, which is the ending. And it's a really great bridge between the two stories. It features Damon Baird, Cole, and Carmine, sort of at a point where they split off from the main group to find more supplies and more troops to help assault Azura. Well, where they go to is Halvo Bay. So you get to see the same city, but 18 years later, after it's been destroyed by the Locust and by flooding and just by years and years.
We need intel! Right there!
Well, Survival is an awesome addition to the Gears of War series. It's the first time we've included class-based combat in Gears of War, which adds a whole new layer of strategy and tactics and depth to the multiplayer experience. It's also a great new entry point for a player who hasn't played Gears of War before, because it allows you to experience the rich co-op that we've always had in Gears of War, but tuned to its very best, and in kind of a sort of a less stressful setting.
Revive me!
No time to breathe!
Taking fire! Renegade!
We've also got Overrun mode, of course, which is head-to-head COG versus Locust, using a lot of the same gameplay mechanics, but in a very different setup. So it's a great entry point to that whole system.
Wait!
Enemy spotted!
Gears of War Judgment is available on March 22nd, only on Xbox 360.